It could have went so many different ways. And I'm not about to sit up there and stand like, bruh, my fault wasn't it? I'm like, no, that shit ain't cool, bro. That shit ain't cool. I know them personally, and they know me. I don't think they seen that side of me ever. I don't think a lot of people ever did. And that's what I'm so disappointed in myself, because you should never see that side. That
was the first time that I heard, or could envision us doing something great.
So instead of us being humble and being meek and letting our work speak for itself, we became...
Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm Girl Trish.
I'm your boy, Mr. Defyned.
And we are
Black Press.
If this is your first time watching, please remember to hit like, comment, share, and
subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications for all future episodes. So, if you have not been watching what's going on and what goes on in our black news, so Cam Newton got into a fight with some of his, I guess, coaches that was working for him under his program, giving back to the youth. That happened at the end of last weekend. But then all this week has been like them talking about it. So we're gonna let you see the fight just in case you did not see it, and then we'll keep going from there. Everybody's been talking about how Cam was just flinging them boys, like he was fighting little kids. Anybody go over the bunker? Shit. Anybody go over the what? Over that bunker? No, they didn't.
Shit.
But he talked about it when he was talking about everything that was happening. And he said it could have been possible that could have happened. And it would have been a whole thing. Yeah. I didn't even recognize there was a balcony until he said it. I knew it was a railing, but I didn't know balcony. But I thought maybe it was like bleachers or whatever. So after that happened, everybody talking about Cam. I mean, he like 6-something, 100, 200 something pounds. So he could easily sling them because he's still trying to he's still trying to get back into the league, go on the team. But so there was an apology tour / explanations about what happened, and this is what the coaches that were in the situation.
Oh, okay. I want to know like what transpired, like what can make anyone like so angry, because I'm sitting here and I'm speaking to you guys and there's so much that you guys are doing for the community and you're pouring into these young men. And so it's just like, what can make something transpire like this?
First and foremost, like what I want to do, I want to apologize to everybody that was out there and to the parents of not just our team, but everybody that was affected by it. That should have never happened. Like we should have been able to sit down and talk. Like there's no reason we should be yelling at each other while a game going on. Like ain't none of that necessary. So Cam has an organization. It's not just one team. He has an organization. So it's just been a lot of trash talk, from, hit more so his side, just out of nowhere, just talking crazy to us for no reason. It's like, it's not nothing new. Like I've been around bro for 5 years. So like this typical Cam Newton behavior.
Makes sense, right? Typical Cam Newton behavior. He from Atlanta, so obviously we got that whole mentality, that style of ours. But it's good that they automatically start off, apologizing because they're coaching, right? So they're supposed to be a positive influence. This is all what it's set up is for the kids. It's called a 7-on-7, and they do all this, and it's pretty much supposed to be a positive event, right? And then like Cam was talking about how we always say, it has to be a black event where a fight goes down. But then there was more explanation about what happened, and so they went into it just to talk about what really happened, and this is from their side.
Kim May heard him and you walked up.
So Steph walk up there.
Oh, okay.
And as I'm walking up to Steph, Cam is in Steph's face. I made y'all responsible for everything y'all do, whatever. Then he grabs Steph.
Okay.
So me being my little brother, and I'm walking up a flight of steps, and I see a 6'6" guy grabbing my brother.
And that's the footage that everybody
That's
sees.
what everybody's seeing.
Okay.
Like,
so that was the first altercation
Yeah,
that everybody saw.
Nothing else
Right
ever
there.
happened before
Okay.
that. Nothing else ever
like,
happened.
nobody's
Okay.
seeing like how he was talking
Talking
crazy
crazy,
for
like,
the
none of
past
that.
2 days. Like
Yeah.
nobody's seen that. Like
See, and when I heard that, it started to make a little bit more sense. Because when you're in an organization and you're trying to do something for the good of the organization and for the good of the youth, don't nobody want to be talked to like they ain't got no sense. Like don't nobody want to be talked down to. Don't nobody want to be talked less than. But the type of, and I feel like this is something that has had an effect on Cam Newton in the actual league as well. It's like you are supposed to be the leader, but you're supposed to have a confidence, but not a overconfident, arrogant,
Like an ego.
Yeah.
Ego's too big.
And when I looked it up, I'm like, okay, well, Cam Newton is like 34 years old. So he is about five years younger than me, almost. So when I was coming through, it was like Atlanta was popping. So Atlanta had become this braggadocious type. T.I. was out. And so he was, if I was 18, that means he was like 14, 15 years old. So he was still at the age where his brain synapses was still developing.
Yeah.
So when you get that type of mentality ingrained into you, that's the way you pick it up. And that's what you become. Cam Newton still had the same type of environment, almost similar to what I had. Mother and father at home. Dad working hard. Mom working hard, going to church. He's always talked about that. But the music and the way that our music has, there's no other type of music where it's like super braggadocious beyond us.
Country is kind of.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Country is talking about,
they talk about their problems and stuff like that.
yeah, they're not talking about how great they are. So we're listening to, and then how I've talked about before, how we start to imitate music, and music, us imitating life us imitating art instead of art imitating us.
Yeah.
So I was watching something and it reminded me of this back when LL Cool J was on Breakfast Club about 6 months ago, and he talked about how that became and how he fell in love with music, with hip hop. And this is what he said.
You know, young black kids sound empowered. It was the first time that I heard, or could envision us doing something great. Because before that, all the images I had seen were us like handcuffed, being put in a police car or some sort of charge, or so that empowering feeling, the braggadocio thing that that we really focused on came not from a place of looking down on high on people, but more about I could be somebody. You know what I'm saying? The world looks at me and like I'm invisible. My friends up the block get killed and nobody says anything. So when I'm bragging and I'm boasting, what I'm really doing is saying, hey, look at me, I exist. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
so that's how music, hip hop started, was to be seen, right? Be braggadocious, be, boastful, out there, outlandish, seen in bright lights and colors. But what happened was we started as a community and as a culture to shift towards the hip hop. So instead of us being humble and being meek and letting our work speak for itself, we became overly arrogant to want to be out there seen. Then especially when T.I. came out in Atlanta, I'm the king of the South. I'm the king. It's like, that's how I gotta be.
Yeah.
Out, brandish, ain't nobody better than me, can't nobody do it better than me. So when I hear them saying, that, oh, he was saying, oh, I made you, I did this. That's supposed to be on the court and on the field. And after that, you're supposed to be humble. Like Michael Jordan, they said Michael Jordan talked trash all the time on the court.
He did.
Right? But when it was in the cameras, it was more mild-mannered.
Yeah.
Because on the court, yes, you make sure everybody on the field and on the court know you the greatest there ever was. But when you off the court, you got to bring yourself down to a level where you don't try to make it seem like you better than everybody. When you're working with people that are volunteering for the youth to do this type of stuff, you can't be the one that's out there talking about, oh, I made you. Just when you have, especially in a leadership position, when you have a point where you have subordinates that are reporting to you or that are working under you, you having the power have to be more humble than those that don't have the power, because you know what your power actually can do. Does it make sense?
It does.
And that's the big thing about so I say, what's wrong with Cam? I'm saying, what has happened where you don't have that type of humbleness in the off the field?
Yeah, he's also a celebrity, so you know, celebrities, they carry themselves in a certain way.
Nah,
some of them do, especially the black celebrities.
Not Denzel.
You feel like Denzel is a different class of man.
But that he should be what male celebrities
aspire to be.
Yeah,
but
Chadwick Boseman wasn't like that.
No, they're not looking up to those people though. They're looking at those people like
Deion Sanders on the field. There, but we should. That's what I'm saying. That's we have an issue with that. Now another piece is, and I'll make it even more apparent. When I forgot the guy who posted this originally, but showed how students and young men actually talk to Cam Newton when they're at these events. And this is what I see as a problem, because you have to realize that we try to say that sports are especially for our youth, are giving them, teamwork skills. They're giving them, sportsmanship skills, how to take accountability, how to communicate, how to work with other people. But then when I see this, it brings me some real concern.
Garbage. Y'all got all that shit in y'all teeth. Now which one of y'all got real shit in y'all teeth? I'm still waiting on the answer. Ain't nobody saying that. How much you pay for that grill? Like 4,000. You don't even got 4,000. You got 4,000. Yeah. Hey, all right, come on, man. Try these some next year. Your team got blurred. I can show you 4,000 now. Hey, y'all clean it up.
Yeah. Playing off. What? What happened in the Super Bowl? Hey, can I ask you a question? Oh, he was a fruity. Did you tell Von Miller after all this shit? Playing off. What happened in the Super Bowl? What happened in the Super Bowl? Damn. What you say? What you say? I said I was gonna fight him. Von Miller. Hey, he's not that small. Can we take a picture? Don't scare you. You tell Von Miller happy birthday. Hey, I'm gonna call up Von Miller. Why you get scared? Why you back up? Wait, you should. What? My friend said you roll me first. Oh, yeah, I can get my ball. Get my big cake. You ass. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You about to be poor. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. I'm rich. He's a free agent. Where's your daddy at? Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your dad. Oh, where's your dad? You're a free agent. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You ass. Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop? You ass. Where's your dad? No, ain't no disrespect. If you wanted some attention, I'm gonna give you some attention. The right way, bro. The right way. When do y'all play? What was y'all record today then? 22. No, 2-1.
What did you do? No, I wasn't able to see because y'all was too.
Cameras on me.
All right, bro. What did he do, man? Does he play?
He got speed.
He got speed.
No, he's playing his speed.
Oh.
You gonna see.
Huh? Nah, you ain't, don't act shy. Nah, bro. Don't act shy. I'm asking. I couldn't see today.
You gonna watch YouTube. Oh, you watch YouTube? I know you do. You cafeteria crops, man.
No, stop. No, I'm really trying to ask you. Like, I'm trying to see like what you.
We do that shit for real though.
I'm like,
We rep that 215.
205? 215. Okay, cool. Bro. I'm just like, please don't be one-dimensional. Like you said something to me, then I go, I'm really trying to talk to you. I'm not trying to like crack no jokes. I'm just really trying to ask a simple question. It's your fault why everybody's looking, but I'm really just trying to ask a question. But you never said what you did. You said you gonna see.
That's the end of the day, right?
No, coach, it's no disrespect.
No, I get it. I get that. I'm just going man. Right? This is the coach.
Coach, we squashed it. We good. I was.
I love that. I love that. I love
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to break the monotony.
See, when I see that,
There's a lot wrong in that video.
yeah, when I see that, I'm thinking. I think youth football
Mhm.
is no longer serving our community real positive purpose.
It kind of is, but he made it negative because
Is it
because for one, the kids really shouldn't be talking to an adult like that.
so exactly?
right?
So
And
what are
then-
we teaching? If the kids are talking to adults like that?
Mhm.
What are they actually learning? How have they learned if they're actually at this point talking to adults like that?
But that's why the coach stepped in.
Yeah, but the coach
is
should-
is the one that is supposed to model.
Right. But why should the coach have to? These kids have probably been playing football since they were elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Since they were playing Pee Wee League. Why are they teenagers in high school still talking to another coach that way? Because football and coaches are not actually raising these young men up to be respectful young men. If they were, by the time they got to that level, they would never talk to an adult or especially another coach that way. Football is not serving our youth the way that it used to. Sports or not. Because
It's not just the sports, though.
No. Okay.
Of course, it's part of it.
Right,
But it doesn't encompass the whole picture.
Right, but
It's-
the positive aspect of it.
Mhm.
There's no positive aspect that's actually affecting, other than the ones that are actually making it successful,
Mhm.
that are making it big. Other than that, and then the ones that are, there are some that are making it to college football,
Mhm.
and that helps them get a degree. But there are a lot more who are not making it to college football, and they've made it this far and still have not learned how to be responsible young men.
That's probably
why they
haven't
end up,
made it.
huh?
That's probably why they have like a cutoff point,
Right.
Where they don't progress.
They
any
have a
further.
cutoff point. Yeah, because they don't, but they're falling to the wayside because they put everything into football.
Mhm.
They put all their effort into the sport and none of the effort into becoming responsible young men. Educated young men. Men that actually respect their elders.
Yeah. A
So
good
if they talking to
mentor
him
would-
like that, what are
yeah.
they doing at school? How they treating each other?
And the teacher.
How they treating the teachers? Yes. All of that. I don't think that sports is really serving our youth the way it used to.
I can agree to that though.
Why not?
Because I think it's more than just sports. Because it's not just because
I'm talking
if
about
you say
okay.
that it's sport, then it's also
I'm not s-
extracurricular activities.
I'm not,
different-
but what I'm
Mhm.
not saying is sports is harming our youth.
Mhm.
I'm saying sports is not serving the purpose that we like to say that it does. It's not serving it to the level that we
I think
espouse
there's-
it to be doing.
I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah, it's our culture, our music, all of that. But what I'm saying is sports is not having a positive effect that we say it does. And I think that I'm not saying we should do it with sports. I'm saying there needs to be some change because there's no way that any sport athlete should be talking to another adult that way or another coach that way. And the way a NFL quarterback, they have no respect for him. That's an issue. That's an issue. And I think that if they are at that level of sport and they don't have that level, they don't have the level of respect for him like that, then it's not serving the purpose that we say youth sports should or does. It's not. It doesn't. Now, Cam said his stuff yesterday, and he obviously he had a lot to say, but it was on his what's the fourth and one podcast, and so he had some things to say, and of course he was apologetic. And here's what he said about his in his apology.
It could have went so many different ways. And I'm not about to sit up there and stand like, bruh, my fault wasn't it? Like, no, that shit ain't cool, bro. That shit ain't cool. I know them personally, and they know me. I don't think they seen that side of me ever. I don't think a lot of people ever did. And that's what I'm so disappointed in myself, because you should never see that side.
So he's disappointed in himself. You should never see that side. But, and that's all true. So he did the right thing. I mean, he talked for quite a bit just on that subject, on the whole thing, and about the impact that he wants to make with the youth. But he said something else that I really think needs to be addressed. And kudos to him though for stepping up. He was like, it could have happened different ways. Somebody could have went over the side of that, over the balcony. Yeah, right. They always apologize. But and that was actually one of the first times I actually watched one of his full episodes, and I didn't like Cam until I kind of vibe with a little bit more. But I still, the braggadocious type. It's just, you got to be humble, man. No, being humble gets you way further than being arrogant. And when more people learn that, they'll be okay. But here's what he said, and it kind of, I didn't really like it.
These are a lot of children's way out of their situation.
Yeah.
They don't have lawyers to look up to. They don't have counselors to look up to. They see street niggas. They see people who are rapping, and they see athletes as people that they look up to. And from an athlete, I'm going to tell them, bro, listen, stay focused. Eat, sleep, perfect your craft of whatever you want to do. You can't do both. I never seen Lil Wayne on the football field. You see, it's the ones that you don't see. And nobody sees a bad opportunity coming. They just see it going.
What gets me is
he has a humble spirit in him.
And anybody can have a humble spirit just when you on the microphone trying to make yourself sound good. But how do you react when it comes to you and coaches? Because when it comes to you and coaches, they're saying that you've been down talking them for days. They've known you for 5 years and you talk like that. You down talking. So when you say you know them and then they say they know you and they say that about you, how people, it's it's not about how you speak about yourself. It's about how others speak about you.
Yeah.
So you can talk and be all humble on the microphone after you let your anger get the best of you, and after you was all braggadocious to the point where you in a physical altercation. But now you have to realize that when people start talking and they start telling stuff, because they ain't gonna tell that stuff on the NFL team. They're not gonna say, but this person is just not easy to work with. You know, they just gonna not let you be a quarterback on their team. But when it's out in the street, they're gonna tell it, and they did. But what gets me was he said that these kids, this is for a lot of these kids, this is all they got, and that's just not true. The problem is people like you are telling these kids that that's all they got. Why don't you have lawyers coming to these games and to these practices, showing them black lawyers that can actually
make the contract?
Yeah, show them people that are doing things that are black that can do things other than just play on the field. You saying all they know is the street ninjas, the rappers, and the athletes, right? But you're not exposing them to anything else. You have made it, and now all you bring it back to them is football. When you got other avenues where you making money, but all you bringing back is football.
And that's just the way to make him more popular or more liked. It was supposed to, but
yeah. Well, I mean, he might have had some. He might have had some actual want to do positive. I mean, he's been doing it for years. He said he couldn't do it when he wasn't able to be there at most of the games when he was actually in the NFL. But the point is, like, what you're not bringing them anything new, anything that they. Because here's the problem. The problem is we think that the only thing we can do is play sports and be funny. And that's, if we put all the hours, like you said, stay focused on that, then we can be successful. When most of us are not going to be successful, not to the point where we're making millions of dollars, right? But the same amount of effort that goes into the field on hours and hours and hours of practice and the playbook reading and memorizing and all of that can be put into the books and still be successful and still not have your TBI, still not have your injuries.
But he can also be just teaching him what he knows. Because
Yeah,
they
but
don't
he
they
know
don't
more
know,
than that.
they don't really know their contracts. You just have a lawyer that looks over that stuff and
Right.
they just sign
But then
it.
don't talk like you understand things. Don't talk if you just talk about sports then, bro. But then at the same time, you still know stuff. You know, even if you don't know the information, you know stuff. You know there are people out there that are doing things and being successful. That's what kills me about Club Shay Shay. Like, why are the only people you putting on the only people you're interviewing are people that are comedians and athletes? Why? When you want to interview some doctors so people can see?
They're not gonna do that.
Exactly, they're not. And then they say, "Oh, but ain't nobody giving our people opportunities." You're not giving your people even visions of opportunity. But yeah, man, I just don't think we're not doing our kids justice. We're not doing our kids justice by telling them only thing they can do is be a gangbanger, a rapper, or an athlete. And then when you do that, but when you give them sports too, when you give them sports and tell them to focus on that, they don't focus on the books, then you end up with what LeBron James has up there in Ohio, where he sponsored a whole school, and the kids is playing great in basketball, and all of them still can't do math. That's what I'm saying. It's like
they just gotta learn how to bring other professionals in. Like, you can be like well knowledge and well versed in everything, but you probably know somebody that is. So bring that person in.
Don't bring the kids to sports if you don't bring the education to them as well. That's the problem. If you're gonna have them in sports, make sure they have tutors so they can get the education as well. If you're not gonna do that, don't give them the sport. Just give them the tutor. Yeah. If you can't bring the sports and the tutors, just give them the tutor. Yeah. Hashtag give them the tutor. All right. What do you think? I know I'm long-winded. Dang, is that 30 minutes? No freaking way. Okay. I'm going to try to shut up in the next episode. Look, what are your comments? What do you think? about the whole situation. Hashtag bring the tutors. Like, comment, share,
and subscribe.
Hit the bell for notifications.
I'm Girl Trish.
I'm your boy, Mr. Defyned.
And we are Black
Press.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.